Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. It's Team of the Year honorable mentions time apparently, but at least that means we get a new objective player to grind for. This time it's Team of the Year honorable mentions Jack Grealish. Just sort of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But I'm going to go over the best way, the fastest way, share with you some of the players to use to help you complete them the best way possible. And I'll even show you how you can complete Grealish and Moments Suarez at the same time. But before we begin, if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. So to bring Grealish into your club, you do need to complete 5 separate objectives. So we'll just take a look at this first one. It's called Precise Passer. Assist with the through ball in 2 separate matches using English players in the live FUT Friendly World Beaters. So one thing you may know, may not know, we have another objective down here. We've actually completed this one already. I kind of wish I had waited because you can actually do this Suarez and the Jack Grealish at the same time because they both take part in the same FUT Friendly. And this is not a friendly that has many restrictions. In fact, we'll get to that in a little bit. Basically, you're going to want to take your best starting 11 out there. It is Max Kim. We'll go over all of that in just a little bit. But just wanted to point this out quickly that you can go for both Suarez and Grealish at the same time. So I would highly recommend this, especially if you have not completed Suarez. At the very least, this would be a 91 rated you could bring into your team. So just kind of take a look through this grind. And I do have a video on my channel about completing Suarez if you have any other questions. But just keep that in mind. You do have the possibility of doing both of those at the exact same time. But for this first one, luckily through balls, and for anyone who doesn't know, through balls is either the Y button or the triangle, and that works. It doesn't even have to be a traditional through ball. We had one objective. We were even doing a live stream on this, and I even did a backwards through ball. I had the ball on the line, and I would pass back, and I just needed a through ball, so I just hit the Y button testing it out. The through ball went backwards, and it still counted as a through ball. So pretty much as long as you hit the Y or triangle and then score after that, you will get credit for a through ball. So it doesn't have to be that traditional through ball where you're like at midfield, you've got a runner, you pass it out in front of him and he runs onto it. Now that works of course perfectly, but basically as long as you hit the through ball button, it's going to count. Just the main caveat here, it has to be using an English players, and I'll highlight some English players you maybe can use on this. Then we get the midfield magic. Score a finesse goal in 3 separate matches using midfielders with minimum 4-star skill moves. So this one is only in 3 separate matches. This one is in 2 separate matches. Neither one of them has a win condition. The main thing is midfielders with minimum 4-star skill moves. Now, one thing I want to point out to this is this gets a little confusing, and though I mentioned this some or had some comments about this from my Suarez video. This FUT Friendly World Beaters takes place in Max Kim. So, for example, if you've got a striker, say, or just say Suarez. Suarez is a striker. If you have him as your midfielder going into Max Chemistry, going into this World Beaters match, it will change his position to a CM for the game. Now, I know this kind of gets confusing, but for purposes of calculating this, Suarez would be a striker. So even though, say, you scored a goal, a finesse goal with Suarez as a CM, as a midfielder, what he's showing in the max chemistry mode, it still wouldn't count because his underlying card is still a striker, if that makes sense. So you need someone that is an LM, a CM, a CAM, a CDM, an RM, one of those positions. So if you have someone that's a left wing, just change him to an LM, or someone that's a right wing, change him to an RM, and then before you go into the match. Now the max chem mode again is going to adjust their position, but what counts is what's on their card before they go into the match. So just keep that in mind. I had some people have some problems with that on the Suarez objective. The next one, letting fly, everybody's favorite objective, score 3 outside of the box goals. I have not found a super consistent way to score outside of the box. The main way I've been able to get it done, and sometimes you have to spam 4 or 5 of them before they get in, but basically do a finesse shot, it's kind of almost a traditional way you sometimes see outside. Now, of course, you see tons of power shots flying from outside of the box, but kind of that just like side-footed, you get that curve on it, get it over the keeper into the top. That seems to work. And the finesse shot modifier, if you do the RB or R1, hold that in while you hit the shoot button, then that will kind of do that side foot, and that's where I have the most success with outside of the box goals. Of course, you can try to just bang them in with power. I don't have as much success with that as I do the finesse shot, but sometimes you just have to spam those. You may have to message your opponent before the match and say, do you want to trade outside of the box goals? Something like that. I don't know, but it's a little frustrating. It's there, but we just have to make the most of it. Successful 7 wins 7 matches in the live FUT Friendly World Beaters. So that's just straight up, and again, this, you can combine the two there on the Suarez. Just to point this out real quick, you have to win 10 matches. So if you're going for both of them, if you win 7, you'll have 7 of the 10 for Suarez, and you'll have 7 of the 7 for Grealish. So just pointing that out there. But the main grind for Grealish is this one: steady scoring 12 separate matches using Premier League players. So you've got to win. The main thing you can do is win 7 out of 12, and that would limit your grind to 12 matches. Now we could help each other out, do some golden goal stuff, but we are going to have to get enough outside of the box goals, finesse goals, and through balls. So, I would definitely recommend trying to help each other out. It still would be easy enough to help out with golden goal type stuff. Maybe just, we could make this so much easier. I know when I was grinding for Luis Suarez, I had so many people playing the full 90, even if they were down a couple goals. And so let's just try to help each other out as much as possible. But this is our main grind, scoring 12 separate matches using Premier League players. So let me show you a couple players, or let's go to the friendly. Let me show you what the friendly looks like. If we go into our friendlies, this is where you would go, play friendlies, play online. And it's this one right here called World Beaters. Now, what you may notice, where a lot of our challenges have been is in Managerial Masterpiece, and team overall rating there is max 77. I actually prefer that, but, World Beaters is max chemistry, which I do kind of like that. However, you're going to come across some of the best players in the game. So you're going to see a lot of lone Maradona, lone Mbappe. There's a new Team of the Year nominee, lone Messi. Now, it takes a little bit of a grind to even get that lone Team of the Year Messi, but you're probably going to see those in this challenge. So you're going to want to take your best starting 11. So just keep that in mind. But you are going to need a couple English players. So I've highlighted some English players here that you may be able to use. And you only have to do this in 2 separate matches with an English player. And that's assist with the through ball. So a lot of you may still have this David Beckham. I know from my Discord, that reminds me, if you're new here, check the description. Join my Discord server too. But I know some of you have used David Beckham already into an SBC, but if you still have him, look at that passing stats. I mean, insane passing stats. So Beckham would be great, putting him like in maybe an attacking midfield role, or even where I've played him before is as a two-way CM, CDM, something like that. Someone who can get box to box. Someone who's going to be kind of on the edge of the box a little bit and can make that through ball pass would work out really nicely with those passing stats. Someone else who would be really nice if you happen to get Raheem Sterling. A lot of these cards are not as expensive as they have been before. Now, one thing I would point out, though, what you may want to do is change Sterling's position from a left wing to a left mid, and those can be a little pricey. I think they're maybe down to 1,200 coins. They've been pricier in the past, but if you change him from a left wing to a left mid, then he would also satisfy that midfielder objective. So that may be something you want to do. And when you enter a match, what I was talking about before, like, let me just hit start real quick. I was going to say it's not, but what it would do, Heung-min Son, you see there, he's left forward. If I hit enter the match, it would change him to a striker, but his card would still be a left forward, if that makes sense. So it's kind of confusing, but just remember, it's going to be based on what their card was before. So Sterling, if you change him from a left wing to a left mid, he could count as your Premier League player. He could bang in goals for you. You could get a through ball with him. He could get that finesse goal with him. So the Sterling would fit a lot of roles. And for someone who's cheaper, I think is a pretty good option, because you see his dribbling there is top notch. His passing, especially his short passing, is good enough to do some damage. His shooting is okay. So Sterling would be a good option for his price. If you have Jamie Vardy, and I'm talking about some cheaper players, of course, if you've got like inform Marcus Rashford, that's another one. I am highlighting Rashford over here, but if you've got some better English players, or even that rule breakers, Harry Kane. I mean, there are some better options. There's a record breakers, Jadon Sancho. I'm highlighting the gold Sancho, but just for the English players, you're going to need to get the through ball with them. Rashford is another one that would be really good. Just even this base, like, let me just see what Rashford is going for at the moment. Like Rashford at the moment, less. I think when I looked, he was like in the like 35,000 with no taker, so which is pretty cheap for what all you get with that Rashford. So you may be able to get him for like 32,000 coins. His base card comes out as an LM, so he would already be a midfielder, which would be great. So you can get that midfielder stuff. You could get the Premier League goals. You could get the through ball with Rashford. So that's one that would work out really well. So those are some English options, some cheaper English options. If you need some cheap Premier League options, one I would really say, now I know I've got Heung-min Son right here. I can't look for that one specifically, but the gold Heung-min Son card, still 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, is only going. Let me just see if I can look up Son real quick. So if we just look up Sonny's card, let's see. I think it was like 25,000, something like that. There's one for 25,000. There was only one out there, but tons of them out there. Even this gold card is phenomenal for 25,000 coins. 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. So, I mean, that's a really good Premier League option if you need someone to bang in Premier League goals for you. Some cheap options are someone like Gabriel Jesus, Martial, Rodrigo. Those are some options that could really bang in some Premier League goals. But the overall thing you want to do is take in your best starting 11. So, if you've got some loan players, I'm not a big fan of playing loan players, but you also don't want to go in as a disadvantage. I know a lot of us have loan Maradona. A lot of us have loan Mbappe. I'm pretty sure I quick sold my loan Mbappe. Now, I've got regular gold Mbappe in my team already, but a lot of us may have loan Messi. There's also that loan team of the year Messi I was talking about. So, you're going to see some really strong players. That Dybala that was just there is a really strong card. So, take your best 11 into there, but make sure you have a couple English players and a couple Premier League players so you can take care of that objective. And this is the card we are working towards, this 87 rated Grealish. He's medium work rates, which I'm not a huge fan of, although I've been playing with that Paulo Dybala. I have a video of my Dybala on my channel, and Dybala is medium, and I absolutely loved him. He has 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, which, obviously you would like a little more weak foot, but again, like Dybala, I'm pretty sure Dybala's 3-star weak foot, and I love Dybala. This Grealish, I wish he had maybe a hint more pace, but I would recommend a Hunter on him. And if you see his dribbling, it's really nice. 92 agility, 89 balance, amazing passing. With the Hunter is going to boost his shooting up a little more. So, I mean, this is a really strong card to grind for. So, I think this would be a lot of fun, would fit a lot of teams. You'd get some strong links with other English players, like if you have a Marcus Rashford, if you have Kyle Walker at the back, Joe Gomez at the back, and a 4-3-3, Grealish would be a green link to both of those. So he's a very, very nice option that I think could really help you out. So I definitely recommend grinding for him. But this is going to wrap it up for now. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below. But I will see you guys soon. Take care now. Bye.